Well, hey guys, it's Retro Dad. Got my badge for the video game swap meet today, or the Portland Retro Expo Mini or Junior Edition. It's the gloomiest Portland day there has been for this swap meet. It's rainy, it's nasty. Well, let's see what deals there are. I might not do a whole lot of coverage, we'll see what happens. Stay tuned, we'll talk about my pickups and more after this.
If you want more gaming and collecting content, don't forget to subscribe to stay in the know.
Well, today was the 6th annual video game swap meet. I've been at the last 5. Last year I said this: I'll still attend the events, but no longer doing coverage like this for the events. So most likely this will be the last year. There's a small possibility I might do one next year, but I highly doubt it. And for the most part, that's true. I really didn't do a whole lot of coverage. One reason, I wanted to focus on getting games, and 2, it was crazy. The crowd was insane. I wish I would have filmed this portion, but there was a crowd all the way outside. Now, the inside is just a fraction what it looked like. There was people still wrapped around the building at the time of filming. I talked to my brother and he thought the same thing. He's like, I think it's because there's no Callus this year. That's probably why it's so busy. And I think he's right. I think that's one reason why. There wasn't as many toys this year as last year, but there was some. Like last year, there was so many toys. There was some, but not a whole lot. Of course, you had your higher end stuff. You had your little Samsons. I saw a couple Kid Clowns, Wacky Races, even a Dino Peak. There was Dracula X, and there was some other higher end stuff for other systems. But this is the weird thing. There wasn't a whole lot of NES games in the uncommon variety. You might find 1 or 2, and I was looking for some of them. So I was looking for a couple things at this expo, and here's a clip from a previous video that is unreleased. And I'm also going to look for a couple NES games. I'm going to look for Little Ninja Brothers, Dragon's Lair, terrible game, maybe Swamp Thing, maybe Wayne's World. So I looked for Wayne's World. I looked for Swamp Thing, nothing. Most of the games I had on my list, except for one, I could not find. I made a list for NES and Game Boy. I wasn't really planning on getting a lot of Super Nintendo stuff. I wasn't planning on getting a lot of Sega Genesis stuff. I was going to focus more on Game Boy, maybe a little bit of Nintendo Power and NES. I went on the hunt. I was looking around for stuff. There was stuff here. There was some interesting stuff here, but stuff I was looking for, I could not find. For prices, they were decent. You could tell some vendors were trying to just get rid of their stuff. There was a lot of 360 stuff, PlayStation 2, PlayStation stuff, a lot of disc-based stuff. There was cart-based stuff, a lot of N64 stuff. There was Super Nintendo, there was Sega Genesis, there was NES, but not as much as I've seen before. So what about pickups? So on the hunt, I came across a booth, and it was in a glass case, and there was a lot of games in there, and a lot of NES stuff, and most of them uncommon. And I saw 3, and I went, I'll give you this much for that. And it was like $15 or $20 off, and they took it. And they seemed to be pretty excited for that deal, so it made me go, I know NES prices are falling down, but it was a pretty good deal. So I picked up Uninvited. I got Race America. This is actually a really hard game to find usually at an event. It's not a really easy game to find, but I got it. Then I saw this. It was a really decent deal. A game I never owned before. Chubby Cherub. I expected to find like Little Ninja Brothers when I was on my list. One I do not own. I passed on it a couple times. Now I'm at that weird spot where like, I should probably pick it up. No one had it. And Golf Grand Slam. Not a really expensive game. It's like $15, $12. One I didn't find either. No one had it. So I was like, okay. No Swamp Thing, no Wayne's World, no Golf Grand Slam, no Fire and Ice. I didn't even see like Power Blade 2 or Bonk's Adventure, 2 games that I might have considered picking up. So I walked around, and I saw one game I did not own, and it was on my list. And I thought it was a little high, but it's pretty difficult game to get, honestly, so I got Firehouse Rescue. So now I have all the Fisher-Price games. I could be a kid again and learn preschool all over again. So I failed it 3 times, so I better start studying up so I don't fail a 4th time. So Firehouse Rescue. So that was it for the NES. I did get a couple boxes. I got 4. So SideQuest Games, which hosted this event, had all these bins for really cheap, like 2 for $3, or everything here's $1. I went around the back where some of the stuff was, and there was a stack of Nintendo Power. So I was like, yes! So I got a stack of Nintendo Powers for $2 each. Now these are the later releases, a couple repeats too, but for $2 each, not bad. Bumped into John Hancock. He had a couple of games from his old set for sale, and a couple of them I've been wanting to pick up, and they were really cheap. Gave me a really good deal, so I picked up 5 Sega Genesis games. These were all his previous ones. He got a label upgrade for the Portland Retro Expo, so I picked them up. Not a bad deal. But we did talk about Khaled's Gamers for Kids, and he kind of explained why it wasn't happening. I understand. It's a lot of undertaking to do that event for free because it's for a charity. And he didn't want to pass the reins on to someone who's not qualified to do that event. So I understand. He did it for 10 years. I went for how many? And I've done videos on Khaled's for many, many years. And I even went to Khaled's before I even did So Wrong's Retro Collecting or the Retro Dad Show. And I picked up some good things that one year too. I'll talk about that in retrospective, which is coming. I talked about that several years. It is coming now that Khaled's doesn't happen. I'm going to do one in spring. Speaking of Sega Genesis games, I picked up Predator 2. Now, this is a game, technically, I used to own. I don't know what happened to it. It was just a loose card originally. I'm not sure if it was sold in the big reveal or if it was lost recently in the move. And one of the last purchases of the day got another Genesis game, one I've actually looked at for the last 10 years about picking it up. And I always go, no, I have it on the NES. I don't need it on the Sega Genesis. I picked it up. I got Batman. So this will be interesting to compare it to the NES version and see how much a difference it is. So I'm looking forward to playing Batman on the Sega Genesis. I did pick up one Super Nintendo game. Now, I almost picked up another one. And I went back to the guy and it was like in disarray and I didn't see it there, and I was going to ask him because it was so busy. I almost got Stone Protectors. I'm really into getting beat-em-ups for the Super Nintendo right now, but I did pick up King of Dragons, a Capcom beat-em-up game. One I've been looking forward to playing. Love Knights of the Round, so I can't wait to play this one as well. Probably the most expensive game I picked up at this event. So I got a stack of Game Boy games. There was Game Boy games I expected to find, like Atomic Punk, like maybe Beetlejuice, maybe Wayne's World, Small Man. Again, they keep bringing that up. I didn't want that for the Game Boy. Didn't find them. But I did get a stack of decent games. Jack Nicklaus's Golf, Sports Illustrated, Golf Classic. I picked up Speedy Gonzales again, and this was actually a label upgrade. My old copy was kind of beat up. I want to say thank you to David because his booth, there was a lot of Game Boy stuff. Some really great Game Boy stuff that I'd never see for good deals. I have Mortal Kombat 1 and Mortal Kombat 2 on the Game Boy. But this one is so uncommon, I'd say almost rare. You don't see this anymore. You used to bump into this all the time. But it's really hard to find Game Boy games, period. But this is a tough one to find, and for $10, great deal. But I got Mortal Kombat 1 and 2. Ultima, Runes of Virtue. I never see this one. Choplifter 2. Another one I don't really see very often. And I got Paperboy 2 for the Game Boy. So now I have both Paperboys on the NES and on the Game Boy. Well guys, this is the haul. It's looking great. I actually had leftover money this year. That has never happened to me at an expo. There was Color a Dinosaur, a game that I was tempted to get, but I know it's one I'm not going to play. Like even Wayne's World or Swamp Thing, I'll attempt to play for a while. Color a Dinosaur, it'd just be for the set. I want to get that license set. I know I've been working on it for years. And it's kind of interesting that at this point, I'm at, I think, 660, 20-something away from my original set, and only 30-something away from a complete licensed set. But I'm working towards it, and we'll see what happens. See if I can wrap it up by the Portland Retro Expo. Little Samson, Dino Peak, Power Blade 2, Bonks, even Cowboy Kid. Some of these I've already owned are going to be difficult ones to get, but I have a goal about getting like an NES game or two a month from now on, just to scratch it off the list. I still have leftover money, so I'll be buying some stuff online today to wrap things up. And if you went to the Swap Meet 2020, what'd you pick up? Comment below. What'd you think of the event? I liked it. I felt it was just a little crowded, and I can't wait for Portland Retro Expo, the summer edition. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have fun. Go game. See you later.